Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. Thanks for watching weatherweb.net. It's Tuesday the 19th of February. As always, the sites get free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. So it's by you coming back, using the adverts, using the site, that's what keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that. This was the scene we woke up to this morning in West Wales. Absolutely beautiful there, looking eastwards. A little bit of mist and fog around, but generally another fine day ahead. And it looks as if it's going to be like that for many parts of the country. However, not everywhere. Got some dense fog around early on this morning. Most of that has now cleared away though, so for most places it should be an improving kind of day. The radar picture shows things as being largely dry, but just notice down here, look, just off towards the east, you can just see towards the end of the sequence there that we've got outbreaks of rain that just start edging in. That's all associated with a cold front that's going to be moving its way eastwards, and that brings increasing cloud and also the decreasing temperature that I've been talking about the last few days. And here it is, look. So really today is the last day of lots of sunshine for many of us for a couple of days. Jury's out on how much sunshine there is around on Thursday, but it looks as if things cloud up through Wednesday. But you can see here, look, these reds here, these are the fall off in temperatures. These are the 6-hour maxes. You see how they just dip off, look, as we head in towards the weekend. So a cold snap on the way as the easterly winds kick in, and then the GFS ensemble wanting to bring temperatures back up through the middle part of next week to be back to near normal values then at the end of the month and into the beginning of March. Incidentally, look, you see these green bars here, well, these green bars are rainfall. Notice how dry it is at first, but then look, it's trying to bring us back into more unsettled weather from around about the 3rd or the 4th of March onwards. Now, just to reiterate this temperature change that takes place in the next 24 hours, you can get this chart by coming down to Herlam, which is on the left-hand side here. Well, first of all, what you do is you go to Chart at WeatherWeb, so you click here. Then you come down to Herlam and you click on 24-hour temperature change, and it brings you this chart. So this is the change in temperature from tonight at 6 o'clock through to tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and you can see here the big changes. These blues here are temperatures changing between -2 and -6 degrees. That's a fall off in temperature of that amount. The purples here are down by 8 degrees, so it's going to be quite a shock to the system tomorrow when the cold front comes in. Now, this is the GFS ensemble. This is how it sees things, and this is what I'm generally following at the moment. This is the chart from 6 o'clock this morning, and as we just go through the sequence here, what you'll notice is that we stay under the influence of high pressure centred over here in Scandinavia. We pick up more of an east to southeasterly flow, and this is the chart now into Friday. And just notice this little cold pool here, look, these bright blue colours across Europe, they're going to slip eastwards. It's those that may bring some snow flurries to the eastern coast, but it's also that's responsible for it becoming much, much cooler. Then as we head into the beginning of next week, still got that northeasterly flow across the south, still increased winds making it feel very cold, but the high as we go into next week stays largely in position, and what we then see is a gradual warming of conditions, all becoming milder as we go through the end of February into the early part of March, and then the ensemble, true to form, wants to bring us back into more of a south to southwesterly flow into the early part of March and make things more unsettled, bringing a jet stream across the country. Now, of course, as I've told you many times before, the GFS ensemble always wants to do this. It wants to always bring us back into a west or southwesterly, but given that I was talking about a cooler, more unsettled end to February, early part of March, it's kind of taken us towards that. But I've got to put hand on heart and say that the forecast for the end of the month, not really as I expected exactly how it was going to be. And I think a large part for that, I was talking about the MJO in earlier bulletins, and this is the MJO from the ECMWF running from the 15th of February to the 18th of March. Do a search on the musings on the site just to see more about the MJO, but what we got here is this is the position as of last Thursday, and it's coming into phase 4 now, but we're into phase 5. But because it's getting close to this central point here, this circle you see here, this takes us into a very weak MJO. So actually, excuse me, the MJO is much weaker than it was forecast to be, so its influence on conditions is much reduced, and I think that's really the reason why my forecast for the end of February, early March has gone astray to some extent, and it looks as if that high, as I say, just dominates through until the early part of March. So as far as rainfall goes then, this is total rainfall from the GFS going up to the 27th. So this is a week on Wednesday, and you can see here that bits and pieces of rain. This will be snow flurries down the eastern coast, 1, 2, 3, 4 millimeters of rain in the week, but out towards the west look much drier. And if we just take that forward a little bit, this is from the ECM, sorry, not the ECM telegraph. This is from the where's it from? GFS Ensemble. This is from the GFS Ensemble. This is from day 1 to 5. So this is taking us up to the 24th at 6 o'clock in the morning. You can see bits and pieces of rain again down in the east here, but very little towards the west. If we just edge it on, so as we go on to day 6 to 10, again, lots of dry conditions around, a millimetre at the most. Not saying completely dry, but you can see just how dry it is compared to recently. And then as we go forward from day 11 through to day 15, which will take us up to the 6th of March, well, this is the southwesterly coming back in as predicted on the ensemble model here, bringing back in the southwesterly. It just brings in the risk of some outbreaks of rain during that period. So this could be my more unsettled spell coming in, although I've got to say that the highs built further south than was predicted. I thought it'd be to the north of the country, that the north would be generally dry, but the south will go cooler and more unsettled. Of course, it could still happen, but at the moment, I think the emphasis really is on this dry weather until the early part of March. Just a final set of charts to show you, just the jet stream, really show you how far south it is. This is the jet as of tonight. You can see here, look, jet stream way to the south of the country, and just as we go through this sequence, you'll see that the jet just stays there. Look, it's to the south of the country virtually all the time. There's a weak jet to the west of us, but you can see here, look, the jet just being kept away, kept at bay by the area of high pressure across the UK, and that means that we stay on a relatively cool side of things. And but mainly the main message from it is that's partly what's going to be keeping us so dry. And even right at the end of the forecast sequence here, look, despite the idea of those milder conditions, you see the strong jet still staying across the Atlantic. So, lots of information there for you, I know. Hopefully that's been useful for you. What I will do is try and put some more information together about this particular chart, the MJO. So watch out for that. I've been caught out by that, but I think it's because it's so weak, as I said earlier on the video, but I'll put some more information online about that. So, once again, thank you for watching weatherweb.net. Don't forget that we're kept completely free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here, and by you coming back and using the site. So, thanks again for watching, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.